What's up, everybody? This is Justin for Party Rental Knowledge. If you don't know, I teach tips and tricks in the bounce house and party rental industry, and now I'm teaching foam stuff. I got Foam Daddy here. I'm super excited about this, guys. Like, I just got my foam cannon in today. Like, I dropped it off at my warehouse, so I wasn't sitting outside my mom's house. Yeah, I'm super excited for this. Paul, Chris, how about you introduce yourself?
Hi there. I'll let Paul go first.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm the owner of Foam Daddy, and just want to thank you guys for showing up and just checking out, what we have here. And I'll let Chris take it over. He's our brand ambassador. He's the, our face of the company. So,
hi guys, how is everybody tonight? So I'm Christopher Weed. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, where Foam Daddy is located, and I'm also in the party business here, which we'll talk more about in a couple of minutes. I'm a foam party guy. I do hundreds of foam parties a year, and it just so happens that Foam Daddy is down the street from my house. So in view of the number of parties I'm doing, I've become Foam Daddy's brand ambassador. And I'll tell you more in just a minute about, after we go through some of Justin's questions about some of the things that I do, which are pretty cool, actually.
So me, I get along with you great, man. I think we're cut from the same cloth pretty much. We're both entertainers at heart. Like, I grew up in the carnival and all. Like, I bring that aspect to my party rental business, and I love how you bring that aspect to the foam machine business, because this isn't just something you can totally drop them off at people's houses.
You can,
but you can make a lot more money when you sit there and you create an atmospheric event and you create the party. You're creating an experience, and
exactly.
Chris is great at that at multiple different things. But we're sticking to foam tonight. Everybody's interested in foam. Everybody's interested in a free foam machine, and then things have gotten out of hand, dude. Like, now, you guys think I'm just giving away a machine, but these guys are giving away machines too. Like, it's gotten way. Like, listen, it's 2021 is the year of the unicorn. It's the year of foam, and there's a year of a lot of things, and it doesn't have to be bad things. I'm extremely excited with this year's has to offer, and we're gonna find out what Foam Daddy has to offer. So I'm as green as everybody watching this almost is. I know as much, you know what I mean. I know a little bit from just studying and asking you guys and blowing you up as much as everybody else does, but I know you guys love it.
Actually,
it's just fun, dude. I'll talk about this stuff all day long.
right.
So yeah, I really would love to know just everything.
Well, let me start. Let me start at the beginning.
Let me cut you off for 2 seconds. So I'm gonna let you just go ahead and just explain everything. And anybody, if you have questions, we're gonna basically just answer them at the end. So go ahead and put them in now. If you hear them say something and you want, we're gonna readdress it at the end. So feel free to ask questions. Start writing some of this stuff down.
Awesome, thanks, Justin. By the way, Justin, you just a little thank you to you. You've done a huge service to the industry, and you don't get nearly the thanks you deserve. And so on behalf of everybody in the group, thank you. You've done an amazing amount of stuff in a very short time. And so congratulations and thank you, and a lot of praise to you and appreciation to you for what you've done. It's really wonderful.
I'm just some dude on YouTube with a big mouth, man. You guys talk about foam all day. I'll talk about all this stuff all day long. I love this more than anything. Why they're saying it's ended on Facebook for some reason. Hold on a second. Let me just do something. No, I don't know why it ended on Facebook. This happened to Adam one time. This is
no problem. We're not going anywhere.
Any professional, there's no professional streaming services out there. Every single time, I got people messaging me. Let me drop the link to my YouTube channel in here. Sorry about that. If you guys want to, you guys know how to sing or anything like that, or come on, show me some magic. Show me some magic. Show me some magic. You know what I mean? Or something.
We got all the time.
All the time in the world for you.
Bear with me. I'm just trying to keep talking because I don't like to make it boring. Even when stuff's going on. I go right here. Hear myself talk. Share. Copy. We will get through this, people. I know, right?
Well, the problem is my backyard is not that big. If we start blasting the foam machines, it's going to be up to the
I
rooftop in
know.
about 3
You have a
minutes.
nice, you have a nice backyard too.
Thank you. You're welcome to come over anytime you feel like coming to Arizona, my friend.
All right. All right. I'm dropping this right here. I'm just going to start dropping it everywhere, actually. This is the link. Oh my God. This is the live link. Doom copy. So I'm not going to type that again. Oh, bear with me. Sorry, everybody. I swear the content's going to be good. Oh, I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to people watching.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hang in there. We got good stuff for you guys. We promise.
Wait for the Kennedy blast.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just making jokes and stuff. I'm trying to at least keep them somewhat entertained. Like, Jesus,
Right.
I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know. Things do weird stuff sometimes. This happened to Adam one time. But okay, we're here. There's a bunch of links, everybody. This is for the viewers watching it live, but the replay is going to be good. So, sorry. And I'll post it again there. Share this. Boom. Okay, so yeah. All right. We'll figure that out. People are going to go in. We're still good for the end. I'll post the video in the end for that. So the show must go on, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So, like I'm gonna stop talking, not keep talking, and I'm just gonna let Chris take this away and just, dude, educate us.
Awesome.
If you have questions, put them on the end.
So for those that might have glitched out a little bit, so I'm Christopher Weed. This is Paul Galana. We are the Foam Daddy guys. Paul's the owner of Foam Daddy. I'm the Foam Daddy brand ambassador, and I'm a foam party guy. I do foam parties for a living, along with a lot of other stuff. So something really important before we start that is sort of an overriding part of the discussion today. Justin mentioned entertainment a minute ago, and that's really critical. My background is I'm not a party rental guy. I'm a magician, actually, was my very first business. So, and there's a lot of magicians that have come into this business last year, thanks to me, and a lot that are watching now. We approach everything like entertainment. You know, it's production value, it's energy level, it's that sort of stuff. And you're going to see that reflected in a lot of my comments today. So that's an important sort of baseline thing to mention. And all of my businesses, in addition to foam, I run a fire truck party business called Fantastic Fire Department. We have a portable miniature golf course business. We have an event production company. Everything we do is a lot of the concepts that come out of the rental industry, but I've broken all of these things out as standalone entertainment brands that are designed to be really spectacular, branded, and elevated beyond just we rent something to people. We're going to talk today in 3 parts. We're going to do a little introduction, a little discussion now, a little background around foam. We got a lot of stuff behind us. We're going to go through a bunch of props. We've got foam cannons set up, several of them. We're going to show you, demonstrate, answer questions, go over things like chemistry, marketing, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll save the remaining time at the end as long as is necessary for Q&A. So that's sort of the structure of what we're going to do. So let's talk about foam parties in general for starters. I'll tell you what I do. We do about 800 foam parties a year, and that number, at the rate we're going, is continuing to grow. It may be even more than that this year. And my company is called Bubble Maniacs. We're in Phoenix, Arizona. And my customers are birthday parties. My customers are schools, their daycares, their summer camps, their company picnics, end of the school year parties, churches, same stuff that all of you guys maybe are running inflatables to if you're in that business. But rather than approaching this as a drop-off business where I show up and I drop off a cannon, I say, see you later to the birthday dad who's got to figure it out, we stay and we make it a show. So we have an employee who's there with a branded setup, music, and we make it an entertainment experience. So it's like a show. And I'm at a typical birthday party, a daycare, a summer camp, normally for 1 or 2 hours. And that's more than adequate to create an amazing experience. And my competitive set of competitors is not, like bounce houses. I'm competing against magicians. I'm competing against a petting zoo. I'm competing against the dinosaur show guy or a game truck. I view that what we offer as what I call a premium entertainment option. In other words, I'm not in that $125 space. I'm typically in that $300 to $400 space for an hour for a foam party. We have no problem getting that. And it's comparable to, like I said, other entertainment options that are like a game truck or a magician or something like that. So that's the first thing you need to think about is the numbers and the setup. The reason we don't do a drop off is I consider that to be sort of low value. And I would also encourage all of you that think of yourselves as being in the rental business to think about your business differently. Rental is a very low value word. Nobody gets excited when they heard the word rent. So you rent an apartment, you rent a car. That isn't like a great association. It's a very low level of service. Instead, we're in the entertainment business. We bring experiences and we bring memories to people. And that's my whole philosophy with foam cannons. So before we go over to the thing, I'll tell you one more quick little story. And the reason I'm here is in 2016, we were approached by one of the malls that I do events for about doing a bubble festival. And we produced this amazing bubble festival. We expected 1,200 people to show up, and we had 5,000 show up. And we did that at 3 different malls, and we were overwhelmed. So 2017, 2018 rolled around, and I had a problem, and that is I've got this bubble-themed event. I need to figure out how to make the event bigger, and I needed something to be spectacular to accommodate people. So I went on Amazon, and I found this foam cannon made by Foam Daddy. I had no idea that Paul would live like 10 miles down the road from me, and that was where his factory was. So I ordered it. Amazon shows up with this big box. I set it up. We do our couple of events that year, and the foam zone was like the most spectacular thing I've ever seen in my life. It held a bunch of people. It was amazing in terms of the visuals and the experience people had. And if you're not doing foam or you've never seen a foam party in person, you just have to understand the reaction that people have to this. People and kids go crazy for it. So I started buying more stuff from Paul and more fluid. And finally, Paul called me up like a year or two later and said, hey, who are you? Who are you? I see you're in Phoenix. You're like 10 miles away from me, and you're buying all this stuff. You're buying like more than anybody. What are you doing? What's your secret? And so we had lunch, and we worked out this deal where basically I help Foam Daddy customers with teaching you how to do this business. There is a user group on Facebook called the Foam Daddy Official User Group. Foam Daddy is one word, no space. So Foam Daddy Official User Group. I would encourage all of you that want to dive deep into foam and learn about it to join that group. We will teach you not just about foam cannons, but we've got all the resources there for insurance, marketing. I got a trademark person. I got a website person. I got a logo person. And these people have all done at this point lots of foam websites and logos, and the insurance guy knows how to insure foam people. So whatever it is that you need your handheld with, I'll even, if you buy a Foam Daddy cannon, I'll even send you all the pictures and the videos you need, like in seconds, to get your website and your social media started, even before your cannon is delivered. That's a level of service and support that's really fun for us to offer, because we're seeing so many people be successful with this, and we want to make it easy for you and make it a success. So we're going to transition over to some stuff behind us. We're going to transition the phone off of the tripod on a handheld, so bear with us for a second if we accidentally push a button or something. And we're going to go over here and look at the equipment we have set up and walk you through it.
Yeah, so. Oh, you're good. I'm just letting you guys walk it through so you guys can get set up and do your thing.
So let me walk you through what a typical foam party setup is. What I take, exactly we do. It takes us about 15 minutes to set up. We typically send 1 or 2 people to a foam party. Our people in uniform. You'll see my son Kevin running things in a minute. He's one of our uniforms. I'll show you what that looks like. So we take a foam cannon. This cannon here is a Foam Daddy stacker cannon, is what this one is. This is a stacker HD. This is a large foam cannon. We're going to come back to these in a minute. So basically a foam cannon is the cannon itself, a tripod. You've got a barrel full of water. This is a 44-gallon trash can full of just water and some foam fluid mixed in. There's a submersible pump in here that's connected up to the cannon. And then lots of other stuff to make it great and make it amazing. So that's the basics. All right, you can make foam with that, but it's not about making foam. It's about making this an amazing branded entertainment experience. So first of all, we always have barriers. One of the advantages of a cannon versus this type of machine. Now, this is a cannon attachment, but there are basically 2 types of foam cannons. But we'll fix that.
There it goes. live.
We didn't set the tripod up yet. I'm injured, but that's okay. We're fine. So anyway, so it's live. That's right. So there's basically two types of foam cans. There's a cannon, which shoots foam some distance. The Stacker and the Stacker HD each shoot 20 or 30 feet. This can will shoot about 15. But then there's an oozing type of machine, which is this type without the cannon attachment on it. The problem with that type of machine, the good thing is it makes a lot of foam, like a lot of foam. And the challenge with that type of machine, though, is management of that product when it comes out. It makes so much foam that you find yourself buried very, very quickly in the foam, in all of this, your cords, your hoses, all this stuff is very quickly buried. It's unsightly for one. It's not really a great experience, but it's also unsafe because you've got cords and hoses and stuff buried under. One of the things I'm really critical about when you do an event, I don't use pits. I don't believe in them. I don't think you need a foam pit. It's just is an unnecessary big pile of wet, slippery, soapy vinyl that is not necessary to do a foam party. We spray it on a lawn. We spray it on fake grass. If they've got a fake grass lawn, driveway, a basketball court, whatever, a playground, anything like that. But I don't think you need a foam pit. But these barriers are really critical to being able to keep a dry, safe working area where you're set up. You want to keep the kids out of your stuff. Kids want to come over and touch the can and play with it. So we set these barriers up. Here's a sample of what is there.
Hey guys, it's actually I'm having trouble seeing you guys right now. So if you want to just have the camera move a little bit less and you move around just a little bit less, it's hard.
So this is one of the panels. A lot of tongue English today. This is
yeah. Just hold it there. Just hold it there still for a second because you're breaking up hard on my end. And let it come back. It's because you guys are moving the camera around a little bit and moving around too much on a cell phone. But we want to get this live and outside. We can't do this inside with the camera.
I can't do it inside with it. Yeah, I can't do it inside with a laptop, unfortunately.
I know, right? There you go. You start now. You're good now.
This is one of the resources that we have in the Foam Daddy user group. This is it's a simple sign panel. These are made by a guy that's in our group. His name is Nick Toombs, Toombs. Nick is probably live on here in the comment. They're also available from a gentleman named Darren Castile, who's in our group. And these make a great branding opportunity, but they're also really cool. It's basically PVC pipe with these in between. This set of 6 panels that's here in the front folds up into a really nice compact setup. But this is great because it keeps you dry, it keeps the kids out of your stuff, it keeps your electrical connections dry, and it also gives you an opportunity to show off your brand. Another thing we always take along to an event is a tent. I use 5x5 pop-up tents. A 10x10 is bigger than you need. All this stuff fits very nicely in a 5x5. I use branded tents because I'm all about branding. That's a big deal. This is a 44-gallon trash can behind me, Rubbermaid. Uline sells them in your brand colors. But we did an experiment last year. We did a foam party in a smart car.
It's starting to chop up a little bit again. So I don't know if you want to put that foam just like sitting down steady somewhere. So it's like it's going on you. Yeah.
If you've got a small car or a smaller vehicle, this is a solution. This is a portable, foldable container that holds your water to make foam with. Another accessory that's really handy to have is a blower. I always have one of these with me. And the reason I have this with me is I have this going by my feet. It keeps any foam that creeps into the air where your cords and whatnot are nice and dry. And also here in Arizona, when it's a really hot day, 110 in the summertime, this feels really good if you're operating a foam cannon on a hot day. It really works. So let me walk you through a few of the things that you can do with foam. I got a little display here. Colored foam is a question that comes up pretty regularly. It's great for gender reveals. This time of year, it's almost May, so graduations are coming up. Cool colored foam party in school colors. That's a pretty neat marketing thing, right? The way that's done is with powder. A container of powder like this, a couple of scoops is all you need in a big barrel of water to make colored foam. You can do blue or pink if you're doing a gender reveal, and there's other colors available.
It's really big lagging right now. I'm not gonna lie, guys.
All
So I don't know if you want to like stop for a second because you guys are showing a lot of products and stuff. If you can like, even if it's like at a weird angle and then you're looking up, I think it would be better if the phone wasn't held because I could see it being moved around.
Power through, no problem. All right, my friend, well, good.
I can't see yet. Give it a second because we're lagging just a little bit. Yeah, just keep talking because we can still hear you. The audio seems fine. Everybody, is the audio fine? Because I know it's a little bit like I don't know if I think your phone is picking up your audio. So if you want to get a little bit closer to the phone or just talk or just scream, you know.
I'm just going to show you what the powder is. That's the powder that makes colored foam.
We still can't really see it that much. That's the whole thing. It's still very laggy on my end, so I'm pretty sure everybody's seeing it is lag as well. We're hearing you, so we're hearing what you just can't see your like I've seen like you're talking about the bucket, you're talking about the like you use a 35 gallons bucket and how you use that blower in the back there. It showed it a little bit, but we just didn't really get close audio is still hard to hear, somebody said. Somebody said the audio is bad.
Let's do this, Justin, because we want to. Let's do this, Justin, because we want to do a good job for people and reflect the quality of what the information is.
Yep.
Let's do this. Let's reboot.
No,
Let's go ahead and end the stream for
let me just reboot you. You come back in and come back out because that seems to work, and then we'll do this scene right here because we don't got to end the stream because that'll kick everybody else from watching. So bear with us, people. Sorry about that, but yeah,
just kick me out and we'll fix it. No problem.
No problem. Hi. All right. It's just because he's on a cell phone, guys, but because he's outside, he wants to show you. Sorry about that, everybody. We're gonna fix this. The information is still gonna be good, guaranteed. I'm gonna be doing a bunch of videos on phone myself. I shouldn't be cycling through those that fast because you guys can't even read those. But yeah, I know there's a lag. We hear you there. Hi. But all right.
Justin, all right. Are we doing
better now? Yeah, we're a lot better, brother. So we'll pull you back up. Like I said, if you can have that thing down and just like try and move that thing as less as possible.
Everybody.
No, you're good. Like you guys aren't freaking photographers.
All right, we better.
You're phone guys.
Okay, so
I can't see nothing actually. It's black. Justin, do you own a foam cannon? I literally just got my foam cannon today. I'm super excited.
Can you see us, Justin?
Yep, we can see you. You're fine right there. Yep.
All right, finally, we're in good shape. All right, so I'm going to go back like 2 or 3 steps here just because I don't want to have anybody missing.
Yeah, start back with the barrel and how you have the pump in there and whatnot.
We've done a ton of live streams here, and this is the first time we have this kind of tech phone. So I'll go back just a little bit. So if you don't have a big vehicle, you don't need to send somebody out with a truck to do this. My nieces each have a foam cannon set up. They do birthday parties and schools for me, and they drive small SUVs. So if you don't have room for a 44 or 55 gallon trash can, you can get a collapsible barrel. These were great. They're really easy to use. We have 5x5 tents. We branded tents. That's really important because I want that brand up above the foam. Really critical because you want that brand to be seen. UV foam is another thing I should talk about. UV foam is like super cool. You need very little. If you know anything about UV, it's amazing how little amount of UV lighting goes a long way. This additive, you put this in, put on your UV lights at night. It's a great upsell. You can easily get 50% more or even double for a UV glow foam party versus a party during the daytime. It's also a great activity to extend your day during the summertime when you've got a little bit longer light because it allows you to get another rental in the evenings, which is extra money with it. This is another really handy accessory for foam cans. This is a back. One of the things really help hold the the amount of air, thickness of your foam. And sometimes you can even just do that with a towel. You can literally even just put a towel sometimes over the fan, but this is sort of a fancy way of doing that. This is a baffle that allows you to help control the thickness of your foam. So let's talk about foam fluid. This is something that I'm really passionate about. Prior to sort of deciding foam daddies were the products I wanted to use for my business, I tested everything out there. I tested foam solutions from Europe, foam cannons from Europe. I tested powdered stuff, all kinds of stuff. So let's talk about powdered versus liquid or gel foam fluid. That's a really common question. So there is an advantage to powder foam fluid, and that is it is convenient. Absolutely convenient. It's so nice to have those packets and just throw them in. That's great. That's definitely convenience. The problem is when you work with a pre-dosed packet, it doesn't allow you any flexibility when you're on site at an event and you have bad water quality, which is definitely a concern. And if you want to put a little bit more in, well, you got to throw in a whole packet. That's a concern. The other thing is that I have a few bubble entertainers. That's a job, bubble entertainers. People who do bubble shows that I watch. And if you know anybody that does bubble shows or big bubbles for a living, you know that one of the key things about bubbles is glycerin.
Hey,
Glycerin here.
Chris, is your headphones not hooked up? Because it's just coming through the phone, I think.
We're gonna try another one.
People are saying they can't hear you.
There we go. All right. So you hear me
Oh
now?
yeah, that's way better. Oh my God,
better.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about
All right,
that,
so
guys.
one of the key things about bubbles, sorry guys, I so apologize. So one of the things that is a thing about bubbles is the thickness of the wall of a bubble. So it's about 1/60th of a human hair. So if you blow a bubble, it's that thin. Well, foam is obviously billions and billions of bubbles you're making. And the stronger and more durable those bubbles are, the better they're going to last, the better they're going to stack, and the better durability they're going to have. And stacking is important with foam because you want to create a big pile of foam. That's what makes it spectacular. The advantage of a liquid or a gel foam product like Foam Daddy sells is that it contains glycerin. That's really important to good quality foam. The other thing that makes up a liquid foam product is something called sodium lauryl sulfate. Now, if you go to a Walgreens or a Walmart or a Target and you go down that aisle that has, shampoo and body wash and all that kind of stuff, the base of every single body wash, shampoo, bubble bath, cleaning supplies, all that stuff is all sodium lauryl sulfate. Honestly, the difference between one brand of body wash or shampoo and the other is normally just scents and maybe a few additives, but the base is the same stuff. And that is the stuff that makes amazing bubbles in your bathtub or in your washing machine or wherever else when you're washing your car, sodium lauryl sulfate. And then for foam fluid, you add glycerin to be able to give that foam better structure and make it stack better. So that's why a liquid foam fluid is a better product. The other thing about foam cannons is if you're shooting foam out of a cannon, the glycerin adds body and strength to that stream of foam that's coming out. So rather than having a bunch of random chunks of foam coming out of your cannon, you've got that beautiful, thick, solid stream of foam coming out that will stack better, that will hold up better in windy conditions and provide you more durability when that foam is stacked in front of you. So that's a key thing. Let's also talk for a second about mixing foam gel, and then we're going to make some foam, all right? So the way that you buy gel from Foam Daddy is you buy a gallon jug of gel, and it's about the same viscosity as hair gel. It's about what it's like. And you're going to take that, you put it in some hot water to sort of loosen it up a little bit so it's not so thick, and you're going to pour that into a 5-gallon bucket. You're going to add 4 gallons of water to that, and that's going to make 5 gallons of foam gel. That's $99 at normal pricing at Foam Daddy plus shipping. So for that $99, you're going to get 5 gallons of foam fluid. And that 5 gallons of foam fluid will typically give you about 4 hours of really good foam output out of your can. So that means that your operating cost per hour when using it as directed is around $25 an hour. It'll sometimes be a little bit less if you have good water quality. Sometimes a little more if you've got a really big group and you really want to stack it, but roughly $25 an hour is your operating cost. Now, keep in mind, I'm typically getting $300 to $400 for an hour of foam. So that means that my operating cost for my gel is under 10%, which is pretty good. let's make some foam, guys. So we're going to start with the stacker cannon. We're going to do this real slow so we don't have any problems with things being jumpy. Justin, our camera looking good so far?
Yeah, you're looking great, man.
All right.
Show them that mesh bag with the pump too. 'Cause I don't think you showed them that actually.
That's where we're coming. All right, so this is the pump that's inside of the cannon. Here's a little trick for you that will allow you to make better foam, more consistent with less problems. So the problem is you have this barrel, right? And you're at somebody's party and leaves fall into this and they shoot off confetti and just stuff from the environment gets in here. The problem is that gets sucked up in your pump because a sump pump like this is designed to go in your basement and suck up whatever crap is in your basement and pump it out of your basement because these are designed to be really heavy duty pumps. The problem is it then sucks up all that crap out of your barrel that fell in there while you're doing your foam party, and it clogs up the sprayer inside your foam cannon, which is not desirable. So the secret, and this doesn't matter if you use a Foam Daddy cannon or one of our competitors, I'm happy to share ideas to help you do a better job with foam. My goal is to help our industry grow. You want to put a bag around this. And the way you do that is you go on Amazon, go to Target, go to Walmart, and you buy a lingerie washing bag, a mesh bag. And I'll grab one in here and show you. And you put it around the cannon. So that's your bag, it's around the cannon. And that prevents all that crap from getting sucked up. Another thing that's really critical, again, this doesn't matter whose foam machine you use, is the connection between that pump and the cannon is really critical to have good flow. Because if you're not flowing the maximum amount of foam fluid, that's hard to say, flowing the maximum amount of foam fluid from your pump into your cannon, no matter what brand of cannon you're using or foam machine, you're not going to get the best foam output. So a couple of suggestions to make sure that works well for you. First of all is understand that not all garden hoses are made the same. If you go to your neighborhood Home Depot or your Lowe's and you look at garden hoses, yeah, they all have the same garden hose thread on the end. But the hose itself is not always the same. Sometimes that hose will be a 3/8 hose. Sometimes it'll be a 1/2 inch hose. Sometimes it'll be a 5/8 hose. Sometimes it'll be a 3/4 inch hose. You want to get the largest diameter. The garden hose that I absolutely love, and I know all you bounce house folks own a lot of hoses for your water slides. I see a lot of discussion about what's the best hose. Do yourself a favor. Trust me on this. I swear you're gonna thank me for this. Go on Amazon when we're done tonight. Look up the perfect garden hose and order one. That's one of these. They do not kink no matter what you do. They flow beautifully. I use these on my fire trucks, my fire truck parties. They're just amazing hoses. The perfect garden hose. Go on Amazon and order one and try it. I mean, I love these hoses. They're great. And they're so much better than the green hose you get at Home Depot or even a really good quality commercial grade rubber hose. So let's talk about what the foam cannon is, just so we understand the parts of it before we turn it on. This is a blower. Now, technically, this thing is called a manhole blower. And if you ever are driving down the street and you see the phone company or sewer guys in your town working in a manhole, this is hooked up to a big flexible duct because it's a high velocity air mover. It'll move a lot of air very quickly. So that's what this starts life as. It's got a big cannon attachment on the front. Inside of here, there is a frame. It's got a mesh tube on it. I'll turn this around so you can see it. There's a mesh tube, a mesh cone in there, I should say. And there's also a little bit of plumbing in there. And that plumbing is a sprayer. It takes the foam fluid, it comes out of the barrel, out of the pump, sprays it in there into that high velocity stream of air, and then causes that to explode basically as it passes across that cone and make foam. It's the same reason why when you were a teenager, not that any of you guys ever did this, but maybe, if you dumped, shampoo or something or body wash into your local town fountain, the aeration of that fountain caused a very small amount of product to explode into a whole bunch of foam in your town square. That's exactly what a foam machine does, no problem. There's a switch on here. We're just gonna plug in the pump and we're gonna make some foam. I'll let you guys watch. We're gonna start with the stacker, then we'll shut this off for a minute, then we'll do the stacker HD. We'll run a couple of minutes of foam and then we'll talk. I want you to take a moment while you're watching this and just look at your clock, look at your watch, and I want you to just to time in even a minute the gigantic amount of foam that's produced, and how quickly you can arrive at a venue at somebody's house or wherever it is and fill a space with foam in a matter of 30 seconds to a minute. So let's make some foam, guys. Okay. Are we ready?
I wish I had some music to play right now, everybody. Like, just like, party boy. Seriously. That and you guys bring the actual Chris, you can hear me, right? You guys bring the actual music to the parties too. That's part of the experience.
Yeah. That's another thing is we bring along a music system. I'm stepped away from the foam can a little bit so you can hear me a little better. The key to good foam output is you want to have a nice thick stream out of your cannon. If you don't have a good thick stream, you need to mix your solution a little stronger. You'll see this is stacking really nicely. Now, this is my backyard. I wouldn't do a foam party here because there's a step here, and that's you never want to bury hazards. Here in Arizona, we never want to bury cactuses or landscaping, but you want to have a big open area that's safe, no steps or anything to hide. But I mean, it's been probably a minute now. You see the size of the stack of foam that we made in literally a minute. You'll also see that some of it is going into my pool. So let's take a second and talk about swimming pools, because that's a real common question, and I want to make sure that
it's starting to lag a little bit, so be careful. All right, I can hear you fine now.
All right. Okay, so let me set this off. So let's talk about swimming pools for a minute and foam and why that's a concern. So you see the foam is floating in my pool really, really well. And that's like you think, wow, that's really.
Hey, Chris,
cool,
it's
right?
It's the camera. You don't want to move that too much around because it's going to start lagging.
All right. So the problem with foam in a pool is that, first of all, it's dangerous. You know, if you've got children, all of a sudden you're burying kids in water in a pool, which becomes a real safety issue. Second of all, even if you have adults and they're all good swimmers, it's really easy to hit your head on the edge of the pool or some other, obstacle that you're not aware of and be injured. You don't know where steps are and things like that. So I absolutely do not recommend foam in a pool. I've done it here at my house for my family because I know the pool, all the kids know the pool, and we're supervising it really well. By the way, you see it's blowing away. That's really cool too. Kids love that because it seems really spectacular when a little wind comes along. But the other thing about pools is it's not really going to seriously mess up your chemistry, but it will definitely throw your pool off balance a little bit. My pool is a saltwater pool. It affects saltwater pools a little bit more than a chlorine pool, but it's definitely, not something I recommend. And I can assure you that if your insurance agent knew about it, they would not be real happy either. Let me also show you one other thing about this that's kind of cool. You notice I've wrapped my cannons. And that's one really nice advantage of a cannon versus one of the other types of machines is that you can put your own brand on here. This is really inexpensive to do. Again, in the Foam Daddy user group, we have this resource where they've got the template all set up where you can have this produced. And Darren Castile, I don't know if you're watching, maybe you can comment, but if I'm correct, I think it's around $75 for this wrap, but it makes your stuff look absolutely amazing because you arrive looking like a real branded company and you're the real deal. And that's important to me to create a real experience for people. So we're going to move over here and look at another cannon. This is a new introduction from Foam Daddy. This is called a Stacker HD. Now, this is actually mine. This is mine. I haven't wrapped it yet.
But, hey, Chris. Yep. Chris, real quick. It's actually $80. Just look at the site. I thought it was $80.
Okay, I was close. $75, $80. Yep. Again, that's DRC printing in Florida. And again, guys,
I just ordered a tent from them guys, dude. They're great prices, great product. I'm excited.
And it's so important. I mean, Justin, you get this. It's so important when you do an event that you show up and people know that it wasn't just a foam party, but they see me. They know it was Bubble Maniacs. They know our brand. They know us. And if I make a suggestion to all of our bounce house friends that are watching, I love you guys. And I go to a lot of parties doing magic shows and fire truck parties. And I see hundreds of bounce houses every year. And I know everybody here in Phoenix who's in that business. And I have no idea whose bounce house it is sitting there. Guys, get some signs, get some branding, like get your brand out there, because people at parties have no idea that's your bounce house. It's all about the brand. It's all about the brand. I'm going to have my son, Kevin, come over here for a minute. We also put everybody in uniforms. Kevin's our model today. So I'll have Kevin come around here. This is how our people show up to do a party. They've got a name tag, they've got a branded shirt, they've got a branded hat. Because again, I want people to, it's just like you went to McDonald's and people are in uniforms, or a hotel and it looks professional. I really believe in that in terms of really presenting an image of a professional operator. That's just a little comment as a marketer at heart. So thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin. So this is the Stacker HD. Let's talk about what's a little different about this. That's a common question that I get in the user group and on the Foam Daddy Facebook page. They look pretty much the same, and they are pretty much the same. This is a newer model, and it has a couple advantages over the Stacker, and we'll blow some foam out of this in a minute. The first is it's got a more heavy-duty switch. This is a much more industrial-style switch. It's got a built-in swivel, which that other machine does not, which means you can always have your hose in the most optimal position. It's got a welded handle in the top instead of a plastic handle. It's made out of a little bit heavier gauge steel, and it has a higher CFM airflow. So that means that this cannon is going to shoot about 10 to 15 feet further than that other cannon. So let's talk about another advantage of a cannon and the throw. You don't always show up for a party and you're in still conditions. You sometimes show up and it's a windy day, and you need the power sometimes to overcome a slight breeze. With an oozing type machine, you've got the machine where it's just coming out. You have no control. It's just oozing out. This type of machine allows you to overcome a small breeze. It allows you to have the power to shoot foam a further distance. You can fill a bigger space. You can spray it up in the air. It makes it more spectacular. But also, if it's really windy, you can stack it low and close so that you can avoid having all of it blow away. So there's some advantages to this. This also has a built-in, on the end of this cord here, a built-in GFCI. And both of them are on a really heavy-duty bracket that rotates and adjusts up and down so that you can easily operate this with no problem. And these are on a tripod, which is adjustable for height, so that if you've got a shorter or taller operator, you want to get a little more height out of it, you can set this up at various heights. All right, so let's make a little foam here out of this one. I'll let Paul plug in the pump. The hookups are exactly the same as the one I just showed you, but you're going to see this shoots out a little more foam.
Hey, Chris, real quick. I'm dropping what you call it's link in on the top right here. This is Nick Toombs. Nick Toombs does really good work as well.
Okay.
He told me to drop his link too, because we're talking about DRC print. You know how it goes. Listen, friendly competition keeps everything amazing, everybody. That we're in America. I love capitalism, and
we're all better because of competition. I'm better because of competition, and so are you.
You know what Nick Toombs said? He said, get a Foam Daddy cannon so you can have a kicking backyard like that.
12,000 parties have paid for this backyard, guys. 12,000 parties.
He measures it in parties.
That's how I think. 12,000 parties in the backyard. So you see the output. I'm just going to show you. This is the baffle we showed a minute ago. I'm going to put this on the back and just watch the way the output changes. It doesn't shoot as far, but it's thicker. So if you're wanting to really stack, you can create thicker foam.
That's interesting.
You see the difference? I'll pull it off. Shoots further.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
It's amazing the difference. All right, we'll shut this down here and make a little less noise. So I'm going to come over here and look at the large foam cannon for a minute. Caesar, you can see it right there, and I'll come back this way. So this is a large foam cannon, and I'm going to do a quick plug for something pretty cool. So this is a great product. It's about half of the price, give or take, of one of these other ones. Produces really nice foam output. It's just a different type of approach. This is at a grand opening, those blowers or those wiggly guys. Well, this is that type of blower fitted with plumbing and a sock on the front to be able to make foam. It has beautiful, amazing output. The challenge with this type of machine is it's a little bit harder to set up because you got a lot higher center of gravity, and it's a lot harder for one person to set up. It's a great starter machine for somebody. We are giving 3 of these away, 3 of them. So I'm going to tell you now, since we're at a good spot here, not too far in, I'm going to tell you how you win these machines. The first way you win is join the Foam Daddy official user group, Foam Daddy, one word, official user group on Facebook. We're giving 2 of these away through May 5th. You have the opportunity to enter. If you are a member of the Foam Daddy official user group, you are automatically entered. So send us a membership request. We'll let you in, and you will automatically be in the drawing for one of these. We're also giving away 5 gallons of gel and then 5 winners of 1 gallon of gel. And then I'm doing something else really cool with that group. The thing I love about this industry is I have the most amazing friends. All of you guys that are watching are amazing. Like, I have the most amazing entrepreneur friends, like creative friends, party business friends. Like, you guys are awesome. And collectively, the talent in the people that I know personally and know on Facebook is pretty incredible. So I want to encourage that. So in the Foam Daddy official user group, we're having a video contest. So again, now through May 5th, you can post in our group up to a 60-second creative video doing anything you want. I don't care if you're singing, dancing, rapping, poetry, riding your unicycle, making cookies, whatever you want. Just something that's creative, talking about why you want to win one of these cannons. And you will be entered if you put the video in, and we're going to judge the videos next week, a day after the drawing, and we're going to pick another winner for another cannon for that. So you have 2 opportunities to win there. Justin, can you jump in for a second and explain the third opportunity?
That's like, this is really wild. Like, first, like, I love back to what he said, the community, like this group in general. I learn, like, I teach you guys a lot. I show you a bunch of stuff. But I learned so much from you people and everybody else more than what I can learn for myself. And they say the best way to like learn is to teach too. And it's the truth. I've learned like it's so much stuff. And I would not be where I'm at today if I didn't have the help from like mentors like Chris and other people. And I know for a fact, just from like being around a block a little bit, like I know like you guys have a great resource for foam. And I know I'm not going to be lacking whatsoever when it comes to like renting my stuff out. But back to giving away free stuff.
So you're giving away a foam cannon in your group too. So yeah, take a second. I'm going to reposition while you're talking and let you explain that.
So literally, it started off with like I was just going to try and get a foam machine for you guys because I just love giving away free stuff to the group. We got a free water slide coming around the corner too. And then these guys started giving out foam machines. So it became like a triple giveaway. You got to join his users group for his. You also have to do the video contest for his as well. Tomorrow in Party Rental Knowledge Group, you have to join Party Rental Knowledge Group. If you're on YouTube, there's a whole bunch of links in all my videos. There'll be a link in this video after I upload it. And that'll take you to Party Rental Knowledge Group. And I'm going to drop a link for a survey. And basically, it's just going to ask you 5 questions about your party rental business, get your basically just information about you, and so you can basically better. And one of those questions is like, how can we better serve you as Party Rental Knowledge Group? Like, what do you want to see more information of? So it's not like a survey to get your email address and start spamming you. Like, it's not about that. There will be an email address on there because I'm coming out with a newsletter, but I'm not selling it and all. I'm not like that. And we're going to give away a Foam Daddy cannon, I think, on the 15th of this month. So we're going to drop it tomorrow. And I got a little bit of a teaser, too, coming from Ray, the video guy. I just seen the video, and it's looking fire for the actual teaser giveaway. So that's going to look pretty sweet, too. I couldn't get it to come on here tonight. So basically, long story short, I keep rambling. You literally just click this link, fill out the survey, and you're entered. And then we're going to match all those names to everybody that's subscribed to my YouTube channel. So subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching, you can't watch it on Facebook because that's screwed up on us too. So if you're here right now watching, subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook later, subscribe, and then fill out that survey. And we're where I'm not just gonna be like, oh, here's the winner. I'm putting all the names in a spin wheel. Was it like free spin wheel or something like that? I don't know. There's like a reputable one that everybody told me to use, and I'd rather just use something like everybody knows than to try and be sketchy. Like, no, I'll just put all the names in there, even if it takes me a while. I hope there's a way I can upload the names. I don't know. There's a lot of people, but I will spend a day if I have to uploading names into this little generator to give you guys this giveaway. So that's basically it. Fill out the survey, subscribe, do all that, and then listen. Do something wild. Go learn how to do video in general. This is a little bit off topic, but video will help you succeed in your business in general. So go make a fun video and send it in because maybe you can win 2 foam machines. You know what I mean? Like you're giving yours out before I am. You know what I mean? So it can happen. Well, you guys are on the 5th, right?
Correct. And the thing is, Justin, we just want to create excitement. Business is booming right now, and we want to share in that with people. And before we transition to questions, I'm sure you have a few. I want to say 2 other things that are sort of important about what I'm explaining today. The first is I sometimes see pictures of people doing foam, and I want to go back to where I started and emphasize this drop off thing. You drop a machine in the backyard, and I see these pictures of all these cords, and the machine is buried and everything. Please, I beg you guys, don't do that. You're hurting the image of what foam parties are. You're selling yourself short about what you could be offering your customers. And this is something that a professional and safe and amazing presentation, there's a market for it. There really is. So elevate, what you think is possible. The second thing is I see a lot of discussion in the Party Rental Knowledge group and other groups about, that's not a commercial grade bounce house. And, that's not commercial grade stuff. Well, the same goes for foam machines, folks. If you're going to buy a foam machine, buy a solid, durable, high quality one that you're going to do lots of parties with. My machine here that's wrapped in the middle, I've done 1,200 parties with that, and it works like a champ. So, spend the money just like you'd spend the money to buy a quality inflatable from a reputable company. Do the same with a foam machine. Get a good quality machine, and it's going to pay itself back for you.
I want to say this directly to everybody right now, and there's 2 things that I want to make a point with this statement. Okay, the statement is Target is now going to have 2 types of foam machines in it. Okay, and the statement is do not rent those to people in their backyard. That's not a rental item. But that doesn't mean it's bad. Like if it's in Walmart and Target and whatnot, that means foam is becoming to people's minds and in their homes. If you could bring one of these, listen, that thing at Walmart is worse than anything you've seen out there at all. Like it's nothing like this, but it's foam, so it gives people foam on the mind. So they'll see this and then they'll see that, and it's 2 different things. Do not go to Target and buy one of those foam machines and try renting it out. I may kick you out of the group. I want to talk about
that. So that machine, I believe that the best way to approach any market is to educate people and give full knowledge. So let me talk about that for 1 second. So it's called FOMO is what that machine is called. And I bought one the very first day they were available, had it delivered. We bought it at Target.com. It was delivered, and we tested it maybe, I don't know, a month and a half ago. I even did a video in the Foam Daddy group when we got it. And basically that FOMO machine, it's $180, I want to say. It is a blower from one of those Sam's Club $199 bounce houses, okay? And it is connected to an aquarium pump that they've modified to pump foam fluid. And you set this up on this little stand, and it just spits foam all over the place. And just like I'm saying not to do, buries it. But the problem is because it just literally just buries the thing in foam, and you don't even get a full gallon of foam fluid. It's like 3/4 of a gallon, $20 for that. Mom will go through that in 30 minutes, and then she's out of foam fluid. So, but the thing is, people are interested in foam. It gets people talking. So it's out there in the public's consciousness, and that's a really good thing that helps all of you. I would say that if you stopped 10 people on the street in front of your business or your house and said, hey, do you know what a foam party is? You have to understand that people know what a bounce house is, right? They know what a magic show is, right? But they maybe know what a game truck is. Maybe they don't. But a foam party, the vast majority of people, the exposure they've had to foam parties is they had this idea that it's like chicks in bikinis on Daytona Beach, spring break, fraternity, sorority thing. Or they were on vacation at some all-inclusive resort in Cancun 3 years ago for a week. And they had a foam party in the pool while everybody was, drinking Mai Tais and getting drunk. And that's what they think a foam party is. The idea that a foam party is a viable and fun and quality family and children's entertainment experience that is amazing is really foreign to most people. So you have to really work to sell this and have people understand how fun and how amazing it is. The other suggestion I would make for those of you that are, in the bounce house business, you have bounce houses and you have a train and you have cotton candy machines and popcorn machines, is as long as this is buried amongst all that other stuff, you're probably not going to be as successful with it as if you break it out as a brand that's marketed specifically with this as a product, where it's that, foam party brand. The reason I'm successful with all my brands is they're not buried together. Each of my brands is a separate brand. My train brand is, wow, this is like an amazing experience with the train. And yeah, I could just have a train or rent it to people, but that's not really the way I operate. So my advice also is, go big on your brand with this. Really look at this as something that you can approach to grow with outside of just, being an item that's, buried in 250 other items you offer. So with that, I want to do some questions, Justin.
Yeah, I'm 100%. We definitely have a lot of them. So we'll go.
And I'm
right
glad we've
up,
overcome our technical problems. I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, we've done a lot of live streams. I don't know why today was our glitchy day.
It's just a cell phone. You're good.
Stuff we missed at the beginning, we'll take care of it in the questions now to make it easy for everybody.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, and we can even do some more video. Like, this doesn't have to be too static either. If you want us to show you something close up, I think we can feel free to do that. And
absolutely,
we're just, you know what I mean? Like I said, listen, it's an hour, okay? If you're in it this long, you're in it for the knowledge. You find the value and the quality of this stuff too. So trust me, I'm going to replay this 3 times.
Can I address one question that maybe is going to come up that I didn't address earlier?
Just go
one of the
for it,
questions
brother.
about foam is does it cause rash?
Yeah,
does it burn kids? Does it burn kids' eyes? Is it going to kill my lawn? All that kind of stuff. So let's talk about that for a second as well. So first of all, when you make foam, the amount of product that you are actually using, the amount of foam fluid that you're using to do, let's say, an hour of foam is maybe a gallon of product. And even that is heavily diluted from water. So you're literally putting out 99% and change water. I've done thousands of foam parties at this point. I've never had an issue with anybody having a rash. I've never had an issue with anybody's grass being killed, anything like that. The biggest thing is kids and eyes. Let's talk about that. I'm a kid's magician, right? So I think a lot about psychology of kids, how kids think, how kids operate, development at various ages, because that's key to my success as a magician and being able to entertain them. I realize some of you that maybe are on the party side of things maybe don't think about that. So let me explain something from a kid psychology perspective. If you're a parent and you've got a kiddo that's 3 or 4 years old, a kid at that age has limited ability to communicate. So the idea of a face full of bubbles is, mommy, I got, my eyes. And they don't really know how to communicate. So when you're at an event and you have a kid who's like, oh, my eyes, it isn't meaning, their eyes are irritated. It means, mommy, I have bubbles on my face. And the way you resolve that is you have the kids bring towels. You have, I buy that pack at Costco of 70 towels, those white towels you dry your car with or whatever. They're $10, $15 that pack. I always have some of those with me that are clean and new. And I've always got the ability to, grab a towel and hand it to a mom, hand it to a teacher, hand it to a kid, say, oh, here you go, wipe your eyes. Completely fixes that problem before it becomes, sort of an eruption of bad energy at a party. So that's a question that's pretty common from parents, from teachers, from people that are booking you, and that's the way you answer that. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had it muted. I just realized a whole bunch of questions that we basically cut off because there's no way to like actually say it. I never. This is one of the biggest live streams we've actually done on the channel. So we actually haven't had like it literally cut off a bunch of questions. So like Pam, I know you talked to me. I don't know if you're still watching. I don't have your question anymore. So if you guys asked questions earlier, re-ask them now because yeah, we're getting to them now and it cut a lot of them off. So if you can remember them, but I'm going to the top of what I have right now, which is where it's talking about like lag. It's not even the beginning. I don't even see any of the beginning Facebook comments anymore. So we'll start with the first question that I have.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that had technical problems today, Justin. I'm glad it was on your end too.
It's just like I don't know, half of it's user error, half of it's like getting used to the system. I've never had this many comments before. It's a good problem to have.
And by the way, if we don't get to all the questions, so again, I'm Christopher Weed, WEED. Go ahead and send me a friend request on Facebook. I lead the Foam Daddy official user group. Join the group. I'm in the Party Rental Knowledge group. You can find me there. Paul, who's the Foam Daddy, his last name is spelled Gaona. Friend him, and we're happy to help you if we don't get it all covered today. If you're watching this later, we're all about making people successful. So reach out to us. It's no problem at all.
Party Rental Knowledge Group, Foam Daddy Users Group, Official Users Group. Those are two like super good resources for both of this stuff. But we'll just start off with the questions we have. I just wanted to make sure everybody had the opportunity to ask questions right now because we'll get to them if you ask them right now. So do you use LED black lights for the UV or are the fluorescent safe to use around foam?
I use the LED fluorescent like the UV flat panels, I guess is what they're called. And they're great. I mean, they work really well. I don't know that, I'd have to look on my Amazon purchase history for the wattage of them. I think they're 75 watt and I have 4 of them. I put one on either side and I put a couple sort of off to the side. And man, that'll light up a big, big area. I mean, it's amazing. If you know anything about UV, it's amazing how a little bit of UV goes a long way. I probably have more, I probably only need 2 of them to be honest with you, but I like to do it, right. So yeah, I like the 5 panels. The fluorescent bulb ones. I mean, those are a little bit older, obviously, but I don't see why they wouldn't work. I'd probably zip time to the verticals on my tent is probably how I do it.
So I I just have a big mouth, man, and I this is on my mind, and it's been a secret, but I don't really care because I bet you other people do it. Can you put LEDs on the Canon and all that stuff while you're moving it around? I'm thinking about adding some lights and stuff and some strips to mine. I was actually thinking I'm actually, if you really want to know what I'm doing, because it's all about the brand, I'm going to wrap it with not my logo, but my logo is a Canon, and I'm going to make it look like the Canon. And then I'm thinking about putting the wheels interchangeable, so it's regular just wheels on it, so it has the Canon wheels. But then for the LED parties, put wheels on it and just have them spin with lights on them.
Well, so a couple other things I've seen done that are really cool is, those glow sticks, you break and they shake them and they glow. Those look amazing when thrown in foam. Also, the one thing I haven't talked about, this would be another whole talk sometime, is I'm really big with a lot of the events I do. I'm really into merch sales because you can make a lot of money selling merch at events. And anytime you're doing a nighttime event, man, kids love to LED and glow in the dark stuff. So if you're doing let's say your city 4th of July fireworks thing before it gets dark, when it's starting to get sort of dusky, man, they'll buy anything that lights up, those necklaces, the bracelets and stuff. That kind of stuff sells really well with foam and is a great opportunity to make some extra money because it just fits the concept.
Yeah, it's exactly like selling tablecloths for my tables and chairs, which I like doing too.
Yep, so, absolutely.
That's actually very interesting. All right, next question. It's also by Corny Carney. Look at that. He's got some good questions. He's asking about, does it use distilled water? Let's just talk about water in general, I think, and the thickness of foam.
So my original job when I first got out of college was I was in the water treatment business. So I know a lot about water quality. So it's really weird how water quality varies. Even in a municipal area like this, where our water all comes from, city water. My water quality, if I do a foam party here at my house and then I load up and I go to a party that's 15 or 20 miles from here, might be remarkably different. So water quality definitely has a factor. Let me bring it to you on a level that makes more sense with regard to your house. The reason you might have a water softener in your house is because if you've got a water softener, it means that when you do laundry or you take a shower and you got body wash or you're running your dishwasher, soft water produces better foam, better soap. Your clothes are cleaner with less soap. So soft water produces better foam because it's the same concept, right? So harder water is a little bit harder to make foam. You'll need a little bit more juice in that case. Colder water also is harder to make good foam. Same reason why when you wash your clothes and you pour in some Tide in your washing machine, cold water doesn't wash your clothes as well as warm or hot water does. So water temperature is a factor, water quality is a factor, but out of gazillions of foam parties, I've never, and I live in Phoenix where the water is hard. I mean, we have really hard water. I've never not been in a situation where I cannot make good quality foam. You just have to, sort of watch your output. And often new users, I get a lot of messages and questions in the group. New users are like, well, I want to know exactly how much of this stuff I put in for this amount of water. And that's a very typical question for a new user. And the answer is, well, it really sort of depends. And what you learn is after you've done 2 or 3 foam parties, you learn to watch your Canon, you read the output, and sometimes you need more foam, sometimes you need less. If I'm at a daycare and I have 12 kids and they're 3 years old, right? I do not need to produce the same amount of foam as if I'm at a school party for 8th graders and there's 100 of them and I'm filling a bigger area. It's 2 very different sort of scenarios. So I'm going to adjust the way I'm mixing and presenting my foam and producing my foam to match my space, to match my group, to match the weather conditions, all those sorts of things. And you learn very quickly, just like when you ride a bicycle, you have to adjust your balance. You learn very quickly with foam how to do exactly the same thing. 3 foam parties, you're an expert at it. It's not hard at all.
Yeah, I like that. And maybe 5 for some of the people in this group. Jesus.
You learn quickly.
I love you guys. I'm just playing.
There's no, I wish I could say, when you start with, we start by explaining there's a certain standard way to do it, but you learn very quickly how to become an advanced user and be even more amazing than what we suggest with a little practice.
Exactly. I love it though. Here we go. How easy is it to transport it?
Well, my nieces do this. They have like small SUVs. Typically, when we go to an event, we've got sort of 2 trips from the car. We've got the Canon, and then the trash can I got behind me is a 44-gallon. I use a 55-gallon for the one I use for my setup. This is one of my niece's setups, but most of the stuff we use fits in that trash can. So I got the Canon, the trash can, which you put on a cart, and then the tripod, the barriers, and then my music system goes in the trash can too. And by the way, this is not something, I know some of you out there and entertainers and you're really purists about your sound systems. This is not the type of thing you take that $1,200 Bose fancy sound system. The sound systems I use for this are that one when you walk into Costco or Sam's Club that's always on display. It's like $170. That's the one to use because these sound systems get beat up. They're out in the sun. They get hot. They get dropped. They get foam all over them. You accidentally bump into it and knock it over. And, you get 2 years out of a sound system, and then I don't care. I throw it away and get another one. But this is not something that you need to take that $5,000 DJ setup with. Just, a simple, cheap sound system that goes right in that can. Cart rolls in one shot, and we can easily set up at a venue in 15 minutes max, but sometimes even as easily do it in 10.
I was talking and it was muted. Here's the next question. How long does it take for it to dissolve? I know there's pan over there. I bet you it's pretty much gone right now, right?
Can you do me a favor? So you can pan over there. All right. So I know we were talking maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So that's what's left. We'll go over nice and slow so you guys can see. That's what's left after, 10 minutes. You see there's a little bit of residue there, right? You see sort of those white chunks, right? So those will naturally just dissolve in the next hour or 2. But worst case scenario, when you're with a foam party, you take a hose, you just spray it down. You don't hit it hard with the hose. You actually set the hose so it's like a gentle spray. And what that does is that kills the bubbles, and then you just spray it down. And the best part about a foam party is if you're like on a driveway or a cement surface, my patio tomorrow is going to be so clean because basically you're cleaning surface. If you're on grass, I normally suggest to the person, when we're done tonight and I say, hey, do you want us to leave it or do you want us to spray it down? They always say leave it. Say, you know what, just run your sprinkler for an extra 15 or 20 minutes a night, just to get the grass a good wash and get all that down under the roots. I've never had a problem with brown grass, but it doesn't kill anything. It doesn't leave any sort of a mess. Now, if you're doing colored foam, I've gotta make sure I mention this. Colored foam stains. There's no such thing as colored foam that doesn't stain. Even if you use Kool-Aid, a lot of people even dye their hair with Kool-Aid. I don't know if you guys know this, but you see somebody a lot of times with blue or orange hair when you're out at the store. A lot of times they've dyed that hair with Kool-Aid. So Kool-Aid is not stain proof. So don't think, oh, I'll just use Kool-Aid, not the foam party. No, it will stain. But this is where you become a salesperson, guys. Turn a potential negative into a feature. So first of all, I wouldn't do it, on somebody's, on the driveway, somebody's cement driveway in their $3 million house. It definitely leaves a little bit of staining. But in a situation where they want that, you sell it as a feature. You say, look, it's a foam party. It's really cool. It's a color party. Have everybody wear a white T-shirt, and it's fun. Yeah, they might look a little bit like a Smurf for a half a day. It definitely stains your skin and your clothes. There's no question about that. Is it permanent? No, you're not going to be a Smurf for the rest of your life. But rather than that being a negative, you make it into a positive. You make it into a sexy feature, right? Always for foam parties where you're adding glow and you're adding color, you want to upcharge. I mentioned that earlier, but you want to upcharge. First, if you're schlepping along those UV lights, you've got the additional cost of the UV colorant, the additive. You've got the additional cost of the colorant to make colored foam. That costs you money. And also, when you do a colored foam party, there's definitely more cleanup afterwards. You got to hose your stuff down and everything. So make some more money. Don't do that for free. Don't give it away.
And back to what you were saying too with merch too. I'm trying to sell body paint as well.
Oh yeah,
So,
if you're doing UV lights, oh yeah,
Buffalo is a big Buffalo is a really big party city, and we have a really big rave community as well. So I'm ready.
It's super cool. And I'll tell you, from a marketing perspective, I'm thinking in my head right now some of the UV pictures I've seen. Man, this is just for social media. This is just the sexiest thing. Bounce house, take a picture of bounce house. It's a bounce house, right? Maybe some kids smiling at it, but that's about the best you can do. A foam party is just, this is so visual. It's so sexy for photos and video that, you do a couple of these and you have so much material for social media. But I'll tell you do one or two of those glow parties and you get some good video and good pictures of that, and your phone will ring off the hook. People really want that, especially for teen parties, because my son is 14, for example, right? So what do you do when your kid is 14 for a party? They all want to look at their phones, right? And mom and dad are trying so hard. This is a great thing for a middle school, end of the year party, 7th grade end of the year party, high school kids. And that makes it a little more sexy. That glow party is a great way to sell to that market, which is sometimes difficult to serve.
This is the third
I know you're there,
time
Justin. I'm waiting.
I know I muted myself 3 times. Anyways, I saw this question earlier, and it was, does it get muddy if you do it on grass?
Yeah. So good question. That's a really good question. So first of all, I mentioned earlier, I'm not a foam pit guy. I just believe they're unnecessary. They take up a certain amount of space. It's like a bounce house. You got to have a certain amount of space. You don't always have that amount of space. You're a lot more flexible with your setup. You can get in and out faster, and your overhead's a lot lower if you're not having to schlep that pit. So on grass, I recommend no more than an hour or two if you're starting with a good grass surface. Now, we all live in different parts of the country. Our grass is all different. And here in Arizona, we have, 2 kinds of grass in the summer and the winter. So if you've got a good durable grass, you can go an hour or two, no problem. If you've got somebody who's overwatered their lawn and it's a little muddy to start with, about an hour is what I'd recommend you can get out of that before it starts to become an issue. But a lot of times it's not an issue of you putting that product on the grass. It's the fact that you take 20 or 30 kids and you put them in a 20 or 30 square foot area, and for an hour they shuffle back and forth, shuffle back and forth, shuffle back and forth. So a lot of times that it's an issue, not so much that the foam is causing that, it's just a lot of little feet. You know what I mean? I prefer to do this on cement. It's just a lot easier. It is not slippery. There's a misconception amongst customers that I suggest you proactively address in FAQs and any materials. The idea is that somehow they think that this is going to be on cement or a parking lot, that it's going to be like this slime, like people think it's like slimy, like snot, and it's not. What's left over there, you see, is literally, it's dry. It's a very dry product. So it's not a safety issue. The only time I would recommend not doing this on a hard surface is I wouldn't do it like on like slippery tile, or like my garage floor, for example, has one of those epoxy coatings on it that even if I, pull in the car after a rainy day and it's dripping water, man, I have to be careful when I walk out there getting out of the car, because it's that type of surface is slippery if you even look at it a little bit sideways. So that's the only surfaces I would avoid. But cement, grass, fake lawn, any of that kind of stuff is totally fine. But yeah, good point about it getting muddy. You just have to. I wouldn't go somewhere for 3 or 4 hours and do foam on grass. I think that would be a little bit of a mud hole when you're done if you're not careful.
So you were giving out a free machine. How are you giving it out again? Let's just remind everybody. Like
All right. So we're giving away 3 free machines. All right. 3 of them, actually. So the first 2 are going to be by joining the Foam Daddy official user group, Foam Daddy, one word, official user group on Facebook. The drawing is going to end on May 5th. If you are a member of that group, you're eligible to win a drawing of 1 machine. If you're in the group, you're in the drawing. I'll do the drawing next week. The second way you can win one in that group is we're having a contest, because we have so many creative people. It's a video contest, and you're allowed to make up to a 60-second video doing something creative, talking about why you want to win that cannon, and we're going to pick the best video and award that person a large Foam Daddy cannon. And then the third cannon is going to be given away in Justin's group. We won't go over that in detail now, but look in the Party Rental Knowledge group. You'll see it posted and it'll be talked about. But you have 3 opportunities to win a Foam Daddy cannon for free in the next couple of weeks.
Subscribe to this YouTube channel and wait for the link to be dropped in the group, and there's going to be a survey. And then one of the people that do both will win, and we're gonna do a spin wheel. It was Wheel of Names. That was the name of that stuff. I couldn't remember earlier, but the Tent and Table was using it for their giveaway. But yeah, Party Rental Knowledge Group, Foam Daddy official user group, people. So where is it? Just looking for more questions. Feel free to ask questions, everybody, because we're still doing this.
Let's talk about insurance for a second. That's a common question.
Yes, that is a great question.
All right. So insurance, there's 2 avenues for insurance. Now, so I had a very long conversation with an insurance company yesterday, and in my capacity as running this user group, I've talked to a lot of insurance people in the last few months. Insurance people are not generally very exciting, so it was a lot of very long conversations. But foam is not easy to insure. I'm not an insurance agent. I want to preface my remarks with this. So, it's important to do your research, but I'm going to tell you what I know, speaking for me personally. So there are basically 2 ways to insure foam. The first is Casio, which we all know about. If you're in this business, Casio. It's talked about constantly. So apparently, from what I can tell from a bunch of you guys, is that if you have bounce houses and you're doing foam, Casio will insure you for that. I'll let you reach out to them if you're in that situation. The second is, though, if you're just doing foam parties, which I know some of you are, a lot of us that are in the Foam Daddy group are not bounce house folks. They're just you're just doing foam parties. There is actually an insurance company out of Illinois called Specialty Insurance, and just come in the Foam Daddy group. I'll give you the link. It's no problem. Where you can insure foam parties very reasonably, very reasonably. The challenge is, though, and when I say reasonably, I think it's on the order of around $300 a year. The challenge with that, though, is if you're sending out people to do parties, and it isn't just you, the policy is an individual policy per person. It's a policy attached to that operator. So if you've got 3 people going out to do parties, you got to buy 3 policies, but it's still overall very inexpensive. So it's not impossible to insure. It's a little more challenging than just calling up your State Farm agent and say, I want to insure foam parties. Insurance companies hear foam and they're a little bit nervous, but there is a way to do that easily and safely to make sure that you're covered properly.
Muted still. And like you said before, you're not an insurance agent or a rep or anything like that, but is it possible, say you have a company like that doesn't insure foam, to get that insurance as well, like be insured for just foam there? If it's only if it's a separate business, or probably not have 2 insurances?
I'm not an insurance guy, so I'm not going to get into comment on something I know about. All I know
it depends on your state too.
every insurance company I talked to said, foam is very difficult. For example, I know a lot of bubble performers, which is a really amazing, genre of performance. And even bubble performers have challenges getting insured because the insurance companies are afraid that bubble performers are going to spill bubble fluid and people are going to, come to a fair or festival and be, slipping all over the place, like somebody skedaddling in a cartoon back in the 80s,
Oh wow.
and so there's certain challenges insurance companies have with this type of product. But again, come in the user group. We'll help you with that. I'll refer you to the right resources, and you should be fine. We'll make sure that you're taken care of. It's not a big barrier at all.
Where do you see this being most successful? I see this being more successful in like more places than less places than more. You know what I mean? Like this is just like you can do this for dogs. You guys are showing. It's just wild.
Yeah. So a couple months ago, Paul and I went to our local humane society with a couple of foam cannons, and we have a relationship with somebody at the humane society, and we did a doggy foam party. And it was absolutely awesome. But we did it because we like dogs and we like the Humane Society. But it was absolutely the most amazing social media gold for the Humane Society. They got photos and videos that really looked good, that helped them. But it also gave me a lot of really great social media opportunities as well. It was some great photos and stuff. So yeah, dogs love foam. And if you get one of these cannons, go donate an hour over at your local Humane Society. And also doggy daycares. So if you know anything about doggy daycares, there's a little bit of a nuclear arms race amongst doggy daycares to outdo each other, especially if you're in a big city where there's any level of money. We have one here where literally your dog gets his own room with a human bed and lamps. I mean, it's just, they have a pool. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's a place I would go stay. I mean, it's that nice, right? And so they're all trying to outdo each other with how they can look more cool to people who treat their pets as humans. If you don't have kids, you spend a lot of money on your dog, right? I'm sure some of you understand that. So doggy daycares are a huge market for foam machines. It's really kind of cool.
So this guy says he is a Stacker Cannon HD. Is there an additional piece that I need to connect my actual cannon to the black stand that it comes with?
Nope. So it just literally goes right in the tube. It's a speaker stand is what it is. So I mean, literally the diameter of the bracket that's on the bottom of the stacker is slightly smaller than the diameter of that speaker stand. You just drop it in, you're ready to go. It's that simple.
Yep. You actually, if you go to the foamdaddy.com and look at the stacker can, like I think Paul, it's on video and he shows like a sweet way to actually just put the stand on together and just tilt it back. Like a 2-year-old, or not a 2-year-old, but like a 12-year-old girl can easily do it. You know what I mean?
And actually, I don't know if Robert Presswood, one of our customers in Toronto, is watching. His daughter goes out and does foam parties. She's a teenager, and she's a petite teenage girl. And what she does is you place the foam cannon vertically on the ground. You stick the stand into it, and you just tilt it up. It's really easy and simple that way. The cannon itself, the stacker weighs around 35 pounds. Stacker HD weighs about 5 or 6 pounds more. So they're not completely unwieldy or hard to do. Works totally okay, no problem. Any other questions?
Yeah, we got a bunch. Does the cannon shut off? What happens when the dance floor gets filled? Do you cycle it on and off?
When the dance floor gets filled. Good question. It's interesting. My market is not dance floors. My market is kids parties. That's where I make my money.
I think Corny Carney is an actual DJ, so I think he's just talking about the area that you're putting in general, without the pit.
Depends. It depends. Corny Carney, hi buddy, how are you? It depends. How drunk are the people on that dance floor, and how buried do they want to be? I mean, a lot of it is the experience you're going for. A lot of it is the place you're in. I mean, you really want to bury them. I think that's an interesting question. Although that does lead to sort of another question. When you're at a party, okay, do you leave the thing running? That's a question that's pretty common, right? So the answer is yes, we normally do. And the reason being is if you shut it off, it's sort of like, you feel like you're maybe like the customer is not getting like full value they've paid for, right? You're there and you're like standing there not running it. So we normally keep it running the whole time. I may back off on the concentration of my foam fluid a little bit, so I'm not putting out that heavy duty thick output, which is again really easy to do. But normally I keep it running just because there's sort of the expectation that when you shut it off, it gets very quiet all of a sudden, and people are like, is it over? And you want to keep that energy up, and you want to keep the idea that you're still delivering value that they're paying for.
Yep, that's perfect. I think that's a really important thing to do. And I don't know. I might come up with it again. Oh wait, no, here it is. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to skip everybody. Hold on. How do they clear the foam away? Cold water, or does it start to go away on its own? We got to that already. It actually just disappears on its own. But yeah, you can just run some water over it, and it's good. And then I think I remember you saying in the other video, you'll be like, hey, do you want me to hose this down, or you just want to play with it until it's gone? And most people
99% of the time they say, oh, leave it. And if you've got kids in it, it disappears even more quickly.
Exactly. And that's another reason why you actually you were saying you have to leave the cannon running because it's going to dissipate quickly too when they're running around in it. So if you stop putting foam on there, it's just going to just disappear if you're not continuously putting on it anyways, if they're really active in it. Here's a question. I don't think anybody even asked this, so I'm going to ask my own question because I get to, because it's my channel. No, but seriously, what situations you start grabbing multiple cannons and doing different parties, like red, white, and blue, 3 cannons and stuff like that, colored parties, and what type of area, what do you start to charge for, so if people were to say I have a foam party for 100 people, and then if they said they had a foam party for 500 people, what are you charging? What's the equipment do you need to start doing certain events? What can you break that down a little bit?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So couple of ways you do it. So these are the most commonly used foam daddy cannons that we've got here today. But if I was doing huge events like a color run or a bubble run or something like that, foam daddy actually makes a cannon, which is amazing. It looks literally like the jet engine hanging off the wing of a 737. And you can fill an area with 1,000 people with one of those, no problem. So a couple ways of doing it. You get multiple cannons. I feel as though you can very nicely fill an area up to about 40 by 40 with the stacker. And if you've got a lot of people, you mix it, you make your foam fluid a little thicker, so you've got a little more output, you fill a little bit better. But you can always bring in multiple ones. As far as pricing, it really depends. If I've got a daycare that wants me to come for an hour on a Tuesday morning in the summer, I'm going to charge them differently than if I've got the city of whatever and they're having a 4th of July festival and I'm making foam in filling a basketball court for 4 hours. Then you're getting into the type of situation where you can get a few $1,000s for it, no problem. So I think that there's very little competition in most markets for this. So the customer doesn't really have a way. I'm a magician, they know what a magic show should cost because there's 14 other magicians in town. You can't charge $10,000 for a bounce house that somebody else maybe are offering for 400. So there's not a lot of comparison for this. So, you definitely don't want to sell yourself short. You can probably get a lot more for this than you realize.
Yeah, that's a very good point, man. And you should be selling yourself short on anything, honestly.
I'm selling quality. I'm selling experience. I'm selling professionalism, and I'm selling an entertainment experience, and that's what I'm delivering and what I'm explaining to that customer in the sales process.
So for starters, something to break into without killing the wallet, what would you suggest, Rick Stevens?
Hi, Rick. So the stacker kit is probably the most versatile. It's around $2,000, a little over $2,000. Depending on which one you would get, but around $2,000. And then I would definitely recommend, again, this is all listed in the Foam Daddy official user group. I'd recommend, you make it. I have a list. There's actually a list pinned in the group that shows you everything you need. I recommend, you invest in a tent, you invest in some barriers, you buy good quality hoses. You'll need to buy some cords. If you're a bounce house person, you probably have all that in your warehouse already or in your trailer or whatever. But, you need a few things like that. So all in to do this right, to get started, you're about $3,000 if you're starting completely brand new with everything. But that's $3,000. This time of year I make way more than that in a typical weekend. So your ROI for this, if you really hit it the right way, is pretty solid.
Exactly, and it's almost as crazy as a bounce house too. You have returning costs and stuff like that, reoccurring costs with the foam solution. So it's a little bit different, but it's still very lucrative. And then once you start doing the upsells and multiple hours, like we all know, you get an extra day in a bounce house. That's just easy money.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Extra
And then
hours, easy money. Yep.
so here we go. Is this your full-time job? And I just ordered the large can and I want to see that one work.
Okay, I don't have that one plumbed up right now to have it work, but whoever you are who asked that, just send me a message later. What I'm doing is I'm gonna leave it set up in my backyard overnight. Don't come break into my backyard if you're in Phoenix, by the way. I'm gonna leave this set up because tomorrow, when the sun is going down here, tomorrow I'm gonna film a few videos for Foam Daddy, some comparison videos and a few things. So I'll make a video tomorrow and upload that in the Foam Daddy group and on the Foam Daddy Facebook page. If you haven't liked the Foam Daddy Facebook page, please like it. By the way, Foam Daddy. And also, I will make sure those get uploaded in the product section of the Foam Daddy website, which is foamdaddy.com. If you want to check that out. So I promise I'll make good on that. Just give me 24 hours on that one.
Yeah, and there's some videos of it too. You can see it literally like the shooting the glow foam. Like I show that to all my friends and all that.
That's you know that is the machine I started with. You know, it's a great machine, works really, really well. I just, I upgraded to this, the more robust machines because they suit the needs of the kind of volume we're doing. But the large foam machine is a great machine. I mean, you'll have success with that. But you know what? I'm amazed. So last year in the middle of the pandemic, a lot of my magician friends were not working. I mean, it sort of stunk if you were a magician because live entertainment was dead. So I had about 100 magician friends buy foam cannons. And I have people that bought one last summer. I have a couple that are now at 2 and 3, and I have one guy that's now at 6 of them. So to give you an idea, if you just bought a foam cannon, I almost guarantee you're going to be buying more because this is a very scalable business. And just like, you have more than one bounce house, probably if you're in that field, you'll probably have more than one foam cannon because it's very scalable.
This is what I was waiting for. My buddy, my friend here, Randy Hamilton. Do you include the music and foam for 1 hour for $300? And what are the add-ons? Don't worry about the $300 there. I'm charging $395 for my first hour, but just focus on what are the add-ons. Like
color, UV are add-ons. Extra hour is an add-on. Yeah, I've got a foam pit. I'm not a big foam pit guy, but yeah, you could probably upsell a foam pit if you wanted to do that as an add-on. We throw in beach balls into it. I don't do that as an add-on. I just throw them in because give the kids something to do. Pool noodles work really well in it. And then, if the person you've got running this is sort of like a personality, right? Who's a little bit, DJ-ish, kids entertainer-ish, you can do other stuff that makes this into more of an experience. You do competitions, Marge Simpson hair. You may have seen those things. I don't remember what they're called. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me, one of the folks that we've talked about this in the group. So these things where it's an air bazooka. That's what it's called.
Those things are
okay,
fun.
So you put foam on top of a kid's head and you shoot with an air bazooka. Oh my God, they go bonkers for that. You do like you do like a train where the kids, do a train through. You do who can tunnel through. I mean, if you're like this sort of creative entertainer type, you can definitely add a bunch of games and activities and fun stuff in. But it depends. Some of my team does that. Some are a little more reserved. It just sort of depends. As far as the price is concerned, typical birthday I book for around $300 for an hour. We're in and out. It's quick, easy. And my typical crew does 4 or 5 of those a day, which is nice. We book every other hour on, hour off, hour on, hour off. So that crew is pretty productive over the course of a day. And then we add an extra hour normally for half price. So if 2 hours, I'm normally getting $450. And that's pretty competitive in this market with, again, those other, what I call premium entertainment options. That's competitive with a game truck. It's what I charge for my fire truck parties, a train, a really good magician. It's all sort of in that basic price point. But if you can get more, hey, more power to you, man. Go for it.
The towel thing is smart. That's what Corny Kearney said. Who is your typical customer?
So all over the place. So as far as birthdays, I do birthdays where, we're on a side of town where you pull up and you worry about whether you're going to have wheels on your car when you're done. But I don't do that many in that side of town. We're sort of priced out of that market. My typical customer is here in Arizona, what we call a Scottsdale mom. It's that mom who's they go to the website, they look at stuff, they make a decision, they call you. Typical phone call to book is 90 seconds. and you're done. And you know, my marketing does the job of selling. It's easy, you know. And most of the places we go to do parties are, you know, really nice houses. I'm aiming for that market. Daycares, churches, summer camps, sleepaway camps. Any of you that have a good sized Indian community, when I say Indian, I mean Asian Indian, not Native American, but have a good sized Indian community in your area. There's a holiday called Holi, Holi, which is in the spring, which is the celebration of color. That is a bonanza for us. We are booked solid. And that's like a color thing where they're throwing those cornstarch color packets around. We make a lot of money that time of year because that's a big festival. We do stuff because we're in Arizona, the weather's nice. We do stuff at Hanukkah because a lot of local rabbis that we have a good relationship with, every night of Hanukkah, they're trying to come up with something unique and fun to offer during Hanukkah. And so a lot of nights we'll do foam one night, we'll do miniature golf one night, we'll do the train one night, we'll do a foam party one night, we'll do the magic show one night. And, you know, in one phone call, they'll book 6 or 7 nights because we have different brands and different concepts. I mean, I do company picnics. I mean, you name it. I mean, the same type of people that be booking bounce houses and run popcorn machines and stuff like that. Same type of customers.
How much does the equipment weigh? There's like 3 questions in this. So I'll just do that.
Cannon's about 35, 36 pounds. The rest of the stuff is, you know, 15 or 20 pounds. Not bad.
So you bring a gallon of the solution and use a client's hose and add water?
Correct. That's exactly right. That is correct.
And you said something about hot water in the beginning, but it was tough to hear.
Well, yeah. So when you make the solution home, you get a gallon of gel from Foam Daddy. And what I do is I fill my sink with really hot water, and I put that gallon of gel in that hot water, and then I go drink a beer or two. And I let it sit in there in that hot water bath and let the gel become less thick, more liquid. Then you just simply squeeze it out into a 5-gallon bucket. I pour 4 gallons of hot water into that bucket, so it really liquefies the gel well. I have one of those paint mixers like you get at Home Depot, like a painter uses to mix a 5-gallon bucket. Stick that in, go, you know, do it a little bit so it mixes it really well. I let it sit overnight, give it a quick mix again in the morning, and that 5 gallons of foam fluid that I've made will give me about 4 hours of foam. So to give you even a little more of an example, so the trash can behind me that we're working out of when we do these is 44 gallons. I also use a 55-gallon trash can will give me exactly, almost to the second, 30 minutes of foam. So if I'm at a party for an hour, I'm going to fill that 55-gallon trash can twice. And each time I fill it, I'm going to put about a half gallon of foam fluid in there, and that's going to make beautiful foam. It's that simple.
Alrighty. How much do you rent out for, and how much foam solution for 1 hour use? So you basically one-fourth of a 5-gallon. Yeah.
Yep. About $25 worth of the fluid for an hour is what you use. And you know, I mean, the other thing I want to point out is, you know, quality fluid creates a quality experience for people. You know, this is it's a glycerin based liquid product. So it's going to give you a thicker, better foam than a powdered product. And it's going to work better coming out of a cannon. So, you know, it's worth that little investment of a few more dollars to create that experience. It's going to get you booked again. It's all about quality for us.
Alrighty. How much wind is too much for a foam party?
I've done foam parties in 20, 30 mile an hour winds, no problem. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
You cut out. Can't hear you at all. I can't hear you at all. Brother.
There we go. Yeah, am I back?
Right.
You hear me again?
Yep, I hear you now.
All right. So, you know, when it's really windy, you stack it low and you aim for the bottom. When you stack foam, you have 2 ways of doing it. You can spray it more up and it stacks from the top down, or when you've got a little bit less, you know, a little bit more wind, I should say, you can aim low and stack from the bottom up. And that's your trick when it's windy. Is you mix it a little thicker, you aim low, and it stacks from the bottom up, and it works beautifully in a windier day.
How much you charge for like a citywide party? Like, what's the biggest event you've done, and what's the most you charged? I guess. Let's just go with that.
$2,000 or $3,000 for a couple of hours, no problem.
Yeah. Foam run would be fantastic. Yes, it would. I'm assuming well water is the best idea with.
It's so I don't have a lot of experience with well water because we don't have a lot of houses that have well water. I did a party not very far from my house here. I mean, literally 2 miles away the other day that it was on well water, and the foam was beautiful. I mean, it was really good foam. So it just sort of depends. It depends, but I've not had any problems with it. And again, the worst case scenario, you have bad water quality, add a little more juice.
We got this question. Is it hard to insure? We already answered that. So look for that in the video. But it's not easy, but it's insurable for sure.
Yep, it is.
Who is the best company to insure you for foam parties that understands the business? You dropped somebody before, didn't you?
Yep. So if you've got bounce houses, talk to Casio. I mean, they're sort of the go-to. If not, if you don't have bounce houses, you're just doing foam, come in the Foam Daddy group. I'll explain that to you, especially insurance out of Illinois is the company we're going to talk to, and that's all explained in our group.
So do you throw down tarps for the floors? I would just say no.
No.
Just no.
No. Don't need to.
Just a straight no. We're not going to elaborate with that.
No.
We got into slippery. Back to slippery surfaces and stuff. I like how you were saying like you'd go to you go to like a bar by the beach or something, and it's all wood outside for like you know what I mean? Like that's a cool place you could do with foam, but if it's open, you know what I mean, and with no obstacles,
Absolutely.
like you said before.
Yep.
I thought that was a good idea.
I had one of our users do foam on the beach the other day. He or she, I don't remember who it was exactly, who maybe in the group right now, but I had one of my folks do foam on the beach the other day, and it looked absolutely like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was really cool. So if you live by a beach, I would definitely recommend you give that a try.
I do. I don't know how I'm going to get over there, but I can figure it out. What is your target audience ideally starting out?
So I'm after moms with kids ages, let's say 3 to 12 or 13 generally, daycare directors, church youth leaders, those types of folks, camp directors, a company picnic, HR departments, those types of people. That's my typical customer. Same people you're targeting for bounce houses or anything else that's in the entertainment space. Same customers.
Do you do more birthday parties or just other parties? What is your main party type you do? You're pretty much 50-50 almost, right?
Yeah. This time of year it's birthdays. But then, when summer happens, that transitions to be a lot of, summer type customers, daycares and preschools and things like that.
So what is your formula to calculate 1 hour of foam? You basically said it's $25.
Yeah. It's within $5. Even sometimes use a little less, sometimes a little more, but $25 is a fair estimate.
Marketing. How do you market?
Facebook, Instagram. This is a thing. So the thing I love about Facebook and Instagram is this is what I call a discovery business, right? So if people don't know what a foam party is or that it exists as a party entertainment option, they're not going to go Googling for this, right? People Google for a magician or a bounce house or a train or a caterer or pizza or whatever it is, right? Or a tent or chair rental. But they're not going to Google for foam parties if they don't even know foam parties are an option. So that's where Facebook and Instagram are nice because, you run those ads with sexy pictures, sexy videos, and, mom happens across those posts and says, wow, this is pretty cool. This would be great for little Johnny's birthday party, right? And so that's why Facebook and Instagram with properly targeted posts with good pictures, good text, well-written posts really is remarkably effective for me. And then I do a lot of direct mail, my summer camp market, my daycare market, man, I'm mailing those postcards like crazy because that's a really effective way to reach that market still.
That's awesome. We live in a high weather area. Are there any weather issues that affect your operation? Rain, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, luckily I live in Arizona, so it never rains here. I mean, it rained this morning for five minutes while I was sitting at my miniature golf course at a school, but that's it, right? It doesn't really rain here. So yeah, I mean, it's similar, rain policy, I think, to anything else that's in an outdoor, backyard events industry. I think you have to sort of think the same way. Luckily, that doesn't really impact us here. Rain, yeah, I mean, you can't really do foam in the rain because the rain is washing away as you're doing it. Wind isn't really a problem. And it's remarkable how many times I hear of people doing foam parties in times when the weather is not exactly warm. In our group, every day there's somebody in the time of year when the weather is not real great around the country where they say, I did a foam party today. It was in the 50s and the kids loved it. And here in Arizona, I have a couple of schools I do every year with big events in December where we do this as sort of an analogy for foam or for snow. And yeah, I mean, they play in it. It's pretty amazing actually that they do, but they love it and they do. And I get a check at the end, so I'm happy, right?
Do you publish your prices on your website?
I do not right now, but that's about to change. A whole new website's being built. I'm a very, very, very big believer for all of my other brands of having prices on the website. I want to filter out people that can't afford me. I want to stop. I don't want people calling me up playing 100 questions. I want the website to provide everything they need, and that way 98% of the people that call me are calling me to book. And that's very much my philosophy, and it tends to work for the other businesses. The reason it's not on my foam website is because my website that I'm using at business was originally built for the mall market, and we're restructuring that website right now, but that'll be fixed within about a week. But yeah, prices on the website, absolutely. And prices in Facebook posts too. I put prices in my Facebook post because that way it qualifies the people right away. And I'm not, screwing around with people to think it's like $75 to have a phone party. I don't waste my time with that.
Awesome. Do you do the bar scene?
We've never done any bar events. Not that I would be necessarily opposed to it. My good friend Paul here, that's how he got started in the foam party business. He would do bars and he would charge money at the door to get in, and he made a killing at it, and that's how Foam Daddy started. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a possibility. You have to understand though, it's if it's a swanky martini lounge. This is probably not the product for your swanky martini lounge with $16 drinks. This is probably for that bar that's got an outdoor area or something a little more of a grungier place where But if you're going to do that, you need to make sure that you're not the one responsible for anything that gets ruined or wet or whatever. You need to make sure you're completely transparent up front that you're filling the bar with foam. This is not something that you want to be there at 4 o'clock in the morning cleaning up after and make it your problem.
Yep. How much foam gel do you pour in a 55-gallon drum? Thanks. So you're basically saying you take the gel, you put that in a 5-gallon bucket, you add 1 gallon of gel to 4 gallons of hot water, and then that's your solution. And you take
5 gallons of fluid. Yep.
And then you take 1 gallon to 5.
A 55-gallon drum, about a half a gallon to 3/4 of a gallon. That 5-gallon bucket of fluid gives you about 4 hours. So you figure about 1.25 gallons per hour. So I throw a half a gallon in and I see. Sometimes I don't have to throw more in. If the water quality is good, the water's nice and warm. Sometimes it's not, I throw a little more in. But generally about a half a gallon of that foam fluid in a 55-gallon drum will give you a really nice foam.
Awesome. So yeah, I think.
And the other thing I want to point out, by the way, is what? Again, I remind what I said earlier. If it's a dozen 3-year-olds, and you've got a space that's 20 feet square, you're filling. You do not want to output foam like we were outputting a few minutes ago, because those kids that are this tall are, you got a pile of foam that's 3 times taller than the kids in about 2 minutes, and you got to sort of chill with the foam a little bit in those situations. But if it's a bunch of 14-year-old boys at an 8th grade graduation party and there's 40 of them. You want to crank it because that's more appropriate to that sort of situation. So your usage will vary, and you learn that very quickly. Sometimes you lose a little more, sometimes a little less. It just depends on the situation.
Somebody just asked about financing. Purchase outright or finance it? What do you think?
Man, I'm a cash purchase guy. I'm a
buy it on the card and get some points type of guy too. Just buy it right out.
Done right, all the stuff you need. Like if you just today started in square one, you didn't own anything, you're about roughly $3,000 to get into it. To do it right, you got your branded setup. But I got to tell you, I mean, the ROI on this is fast. I know some of you that are watching, this is a common thing in our Foam Daddy group. People say, all right, I ordered a foam cannon, and before the foam cannon even was delivered by UPS to my house, Justin, I think you may have been saying this, before the foam cannon is even delivered to your house, you sold enough foam parties to pay for what you just bought. And that's like a really common thing. And the thing is, I'll give you, join the group, buy a Canon from Foam Daddy. I'll give you the pictures, I'll give you the videos, I'll give you the stuff I use in my business that sells this stuff for me, so that you can start doing Facebook posts literally tomorrow morning. Pretty cool.
It's you could definitely get it sold. So can you do wet t-shirts with like this?
I don't even want to know who asked that. Yeah, I would imagine you could.
No,
Just depends
well,
on the
honestly,
market. Oh, that was you that asked that question, Justin.
No, it wasn't me. It was Adam, the tent guy, wants me to do like me to wear a wet t-shirt. He keeps telling me to do it on his channel, and he's getting people to like message me and stuff. So he used all 3 of his channels to ask about wet t-shirt. So I'm just like, I'm curious. Like, is it even possible? Because I'm told, I'm getting a pop-up cake for my party rental business. Like, you could jump out of it, but I'm just gonna have it as a clown on my website.
Oh, you're not going to jump out of it, though. You're not jumping out of it, Justin?
No, I'm not jumping out of it. But I'm gonna have it as just a clown on the website jumping out of it, because I'm not gonna market a stripper jumping out of it. You know what I mean? Like on my party rental company. So I don't think you can really market a wet t-shirt company like that on your site. So you have to do it as almost like a whole separate thing, in my opinion.
On your it depends on your branding. My branding is, very family friendly, all this type of things. So that doesn't fit my branding. Although that brings up another interesting question. So it's about wet t-shirts. All right. So can kids wear normal clothes in foam? Well, the answer is sorta. If we're at like a daycare or a birthday party and the weather is nice, I tell them, have the kids wear what they'd wear to go swimming. Bring a towel, bring a bathing suit. Little kids love to wear goggles. I mean, they look so cute in goggles, and that's a big deal for them. So jazz it up, make it interesting, exciting. So in those cases, I say, yeah, wear clothes you wear swimming. But you can go in foam in your regular clothes. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit wet, a little bit damp. Are you going to be as wet as if you jumped in the pool? No, not really. You can sort of towel up, but you're definitely going to be damp afterwards. But that's a question that comes up typically, and we normally say dress like you're going to go swimming, because it's more fun for the kids that way too. Plus, when they get out, they can be hosed down, and that's fun for them. You got to think about this again. It's all entertainment, all through the eyes of a kid, and make it as fun and as interesting and as exciting for them, as a 4-year-old would think it would be.
Mustache on the Move said he ordered a foam cannon, and with the pictures Chris gave me, I sold 5 events and had to rush the shipment in order to make it in time for last Friday.
Yeah, we had to ship his. That's John. Hi, John. How are you? We had to ship John's cannon via Southwest Airlines, so that he could pick it up at the airport and do foam parties the next day. And we can. I mean, that's the level of service that Foam Daddy has. I mean, we can do that if you've got stuff booked. I mean, if you've got an airport nearby, we can get it there really, actually, at a very reasonable price, like overnight.
What's the warranty on them?
What's the warranty, Paul? 1 year. Although honestly, my oldest Canon is 3 or 4 years old at this point. I've done a million parties with it. I've never once had a problem. And I mean, they're pretty solid products. So there's not really much of a concern there.
Awesome, man. All right, everybody. Ask your questions like right now, because I'm about to start wrapping up, and we'll get to them if you ask them right now. But we're gonna start ending it, and if you give me some good questions, we'll continue this like we always kind of do, anyways. But what do you like? Ooh, didn't have my face on there. What do you got? Do you have anything to say for the audience besides, again, we're giving away a bunch of free stuff? He's giving a bunch of free stuff in his group. Literally, you do a video, do something crazy, just beat yourself up, or you know what I mean? I don't know, just do something crazy, just like I'm from Buffalo, jump through one of your tables and stuff like that. Do you want to rent and something like that? Just you want to win a foam machine, that's how you do it. We're doing I'm not saying the craziest video will win, but I mean, just don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
Go in the Foam Daddy official user group. There's a post there that explains everything. And also, if you do join the Foam Daddy user group, just like in a lot of groups on Facebook, at the very top of the page, I've got about a half dozen pinned posts. One of the posts explains with links to Amazon everything you need to buy to set up a foam business, right down to the shutoff valve I suggest you buy for your hose. There's another one that talks about troubleshooting. Oh, I'm not getting a foam. Well, what does that mean? How to fix that? What's going on? Another one, how to clean your cannon. I've got all this stuff posted to make it really easy for you. And so check the pin post in the Foam Daddy group, but there's also posts explaining how you can win one of a couple of cannons we're giving away.
And just getting in the group in general, you're entered to win a cannon, right?
Correct. That's exactly right.
So get in there, go in there just to enter. If you want to double your chances to winning, or maybe winning two foam machines or something like that, if you're really lucky, do something wild, man. I want to see some cool footage that we could possibly use. Listen, turn your phone sideways. Don't have it up. Don't have it up for shorts. Keep it sideways so we can use this. You know what I mean? Like maybe we can clip it or something like that. I think that'd be advantageous with your permission. You know what I mean? We'd ask you first if you win. I'm sure you'd want us to be able to use it. So I'm throwing that in there too.
And it doesn't, and it's just like we're just trying to get people to be creative. So it doesn't have anything to do with foam. We just want to see you do something creative and explain why you want to win a foam cannon up to 60 seconds. So I cannot wait to see some of the stuff. We had a few posted this morning. We had one guy that had this amazing thing where he was 3D printing something. I was blown away. We have ventriloquists, we have party people, we have bubble people, we have magicians, we have poets in the group, we have all kinds of stuff. So I just can't wait to see what people do. And we want to have fun and just create a sense of community. The more that we as a community, as professionals that are in the party business, get to know each other, can learn from each other, support each other, and grow together is a benefit to all of us. And that's all I'm after, just like you are, Justin.
100%, man. It's really awesome, dude. So we have a couple questions. We'll get right into them, and then we're going to sign out pretty much. Estimate shipping time? It's been like, what, 2 weeks?
Not even right now. We're pretty much caught up right now. So place an order a day. And UPS, we're in Arizona, so UPS anywhere in the country is 5 days max.
Yep.
6 days, I think, if you're way up in the corner of Maine, but basically 5 days to anywhere in the country.
Mine was shipped on it was shipped on like Wednesday, and it arrived today. So 5 days. What's your upcharge for color? I have $150 on my site just for color. And then it's another $150 per hour added on. Yeah. And then my price is $395 and then $200 per hour. But I'm weird. So like I believe having big prices to scare everybody away and then discounts everywhere to pull everybody in and just confuse the shit out of everybody. So like and just what I mean, that's how you get their money. It's that's you know what I mean? They know they're having fun. You go to the carnival, listen. I tell everybody this. I'm glad you're on, so I could say this too. You go to the carnival, and you see a bunch of carnies there, and they're all there to rob you. How the hell do I make 15 grand in a week? Entertaining them. It's all an experience, man. Like I'm giving them prizes. We're doing this. Fast talking, lots of movements. There's definitely some tricks going on there too. Like I'm not gonna lie, but it's an experience in general because they know they're getting screwed with all that fast talking, but they're there because if I wasn't entertaining them and joking with them and stuff like that, I had this guy and he was literally across from me, and he was like, they actually employ some of the best character artists in the world in the carnivals. They live in they have nice fancy trailers, their own dressing rooms and stuff like that because that's all they invest in. And this guy across from me has to sit there and say, "Oh, let me draw your cute kid. Let me draw your kid. He'll look so cute in this picture." And I'm sitting here across with this football. You can't throw a football. We're in Georgia, and you can't throw a football. Like, what is wrong with you? And they're like, "Oh, I'm going to throw this football." I start hyping them up, like, you know what I mean?
Entertainment.
Talking.
It's entertainment. And that's the key with this is if you want to be in the foam machine rental business, I can't knock that. I mean, if it works for you and your thing, that's great. But there's an opportunity to make for what you make for dropping a foam machine off for a day. There's an opportunity to charge more than that for 1 hour and do 4 or 5 of them in a day and present a far better experience that will cause even more people to want to book that. I mean, it's just that's my approach.
It's awesome, man. It's literally the best thing you could possibly do. So you have an attendant present at every setup. Also, what do you pay them per event hourly?
Depends. Most of my staff are family. So it depends. I mean, anywhere from $15 an hour to a flat fee per an event, which is 50 or $75. It just sort of depends who's doing it and who's doing the family is doing it. It depends. You know, my margin, even after supplies and labor, is never less than 60 to 70% on this.
I would say flat fees probably on like the day, like, oh, you're just gonna do one party that day, so you're not really making too much. So you get the flat fee that day, flat fee that day. But if it's normal other side, it's like $15 an hour because you're working full 8 hours or something like that, 10 hours.
And this is, you know,
the
the other thing about this is, you know, unlike where you've got to, you know, somebody that's delivering bounce houses and picking up bounce houses. I mean, I like you guys that do that. I bless you, because I there's just no way I could handle what you guys do with the amount of the weight and the carrying and through gates. I mean, it's just crazy what you guys do.
It works smart.
But if you've got, you know, if you've got in your team some people that maybe wouldn't be good at that, but have the personality, you know, some teenage girls, you've got a daughter or a niece or, you know, a really sharp high school kid or a college kid that maybe doesn't want to schlep around 350-pound bounce houses all day, but they've got some personality. This is what you send them out to do.
Yeah, I think that's really. I actually have a really good friend who's a DJ, and I'm trying to convince him because he's like, "Well, what do you add to your party? Like, he could just be sitting over there having somebody do the turnstile, or have some kid come with him and play with the foam machine and just charge it as DJ party, or I can hype up. Like, it's just an intermix. You know what I mean? So I'm actually in cahoots with him. It's just I don't know. I have yet to see really like a barrier yet with where foam could go. And definitely the hype is just continuing to grow. So
absolutely
prices on powder color. I don't think, is it powder or do you have it? Is it gel?
You know, at the top of my head, it's a powder. You know, off the top of my head, I don't know. FoamDaddy.com has got that list. I don't know that off the top of my head. But it's amazing. Let me grab one here real quick just to show you guys.
Yeah, do that. I'm looking it up right now.
So the way it comes, all right, and FoamDaddy is really nice the way they do this. It's actually really smart. So you don't just get a jar with this in it. So you get it's in a bag in there. There's gloves in there. You put the gloves on. There's a scoop, and literally one scoop like will go a long way. We used this at a big event the other day, and I can't even tell I used any out of this. I mean, it's crazy how far a small amount will go.
I don't know if this just says blue foam coloring, but it looks like a jug on here. It doesn't look like that.
Paul, how much is the powder? Paul's
so it says 89.
$89. $89. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the prices are right on the website. It just doesn't look like that on the website, but that's what it is.
And this goes a long way. You know, a long way.
All right.
Yeah, I would upcharge. But your upcharge usage, I think, is a fair rate. Just remember, it isn't just the product. It's you got some cleanup, and you know, you've got to maintain a really good working environment when you do that, so you're not covered with and have blue hands and blue stuff dripping on you if you're not careful. You know, you just maintain your stuff really well and present it professionally, and it's a lot easier for you as well.
And you guys are also in the works of testing out black foam, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, you know about that. I think you were the one that requested that. Yes.
I was literally in the hood, and I'm like, oh, I want to do a Jamaican party. And then, oh, what if we could do black foam? And like nobody ever thought about that. So like we're trying to see if we can do it. Look, I think it's sick. Like,
and yeah, and you know, and it's sort of in closing. You know, the thing about being a small business, right, is so I'm an entertainer. I do foam parties. I have a great relationship with Paul, who owns foam, and Paul as a customer. So many of the things that we've come up with over the last year are as a result of not just me, but a lot of you guys with feedback and ideas. And that's the great thing about a small company that listens is, like, if you think, well, can we make black foam? Well, you know what? Tell us. We'll figure out a way to make that happen for you. You know, you think, oh, you know, the product would be better this way, or this improvement to a machine, or I have this idea. Share it with us, because that helps. That helps, and you never know. It might be an amazing idea that could become something. So we're always listening.
Yeah, we're, like we said, man, we're doing it for the people. That's why we're giving a bunch of free stuff away. We mentioned a bunch of times. We're not getting into it again, but we're going to sign out here. I don't know if you want to get Paul back in here for the sign out
Yeah,
at all.
Paul, come here. Paul, come here for 1 second. Just say goodbye. Again, let me just tell you, if you want to send me a friend request, I'm in the Party Rental Knowledge group as well as the Foam Daddy official user group. Christopher Weed, WEED. This is Paul, Foam Daddy. Paul's last name is spelled Gaona. You friend us if you want, or send us a message. A couple quick resources: Foam Daddy official user group on Facebook. Join that. Like the Foam Daddy Facebook page. And foamdaddy.com has all the information, all the products. If you want to check out everything that Foam Daddy offers.
And call us as well.
Yeah. Paul answers the phone like 24 hours a day. It's a little crazy. So, if you need help, call. Paul will answer and help you out.
Awesome, guys. I appreciate you guys. And obviously, Party Rental Knowledge Group, if you haven't heard it before. So, big things happening there. I love it. I love the community. This is probably one of the best live streams I've done. Definitely one of the most educated and well put together ones we've done, even with all the mishaps. Like, it's still the amount of knowledge you got on this. No, seriously, the amount of knowledge you get in this stuff is just crazy. Like, it's just really, really good. And it's just, I'm happy. I'm blessed. I'm so happy you guys came here to do this. Trixie Rogers says thanks for the giveaways. Thank you, Trixie, for the views. Yeah. Like you said, I'm not going to repeat it. If you haven't seen it before, go watch the video again. We're giving a bunch of free stuff away. We'll probably do something again that's a lot shorter or maybe more fine-tuned or something like that. And you got videos coming out. Like, listen, I will talk forever. It's what I do, everybody. So like and subscribe. Definitely go check out. He's giving his stuff out on the 5th. I'm giving my stuff out on the 15th. So, you know what I mean? Do your due diligence and go win some stuff. Ciao.